So, what is happening now in the Middle East is something we have discussed with those leaders. I have really discussed with those leaders. All of them, they are all our friends. The Israelis are our friends. The Iranians are our friends. The UAE are our friends. The Qataris are our friends. The Saudis, the Americans. And when they were fighting last year, I put out, you know, I am chairman of the non-aligned movement. Up to now, I am still chairman. But when the fighting started last year, I first kept quiet. I didn't want. But after some time, I issued a statement. My staff can get that statement and give it to the people who are here, where I really externalized what we have been talking quietly with all these people. You will read it. But the whole problem starts with what we call in English chauvinism. Chauvinism. Buli omu okulowooza nti yeyeka. Everybody thinks he's the one who is most important. So that's why we have got that huge problem. You can see now the destruction, the dangers. I discussed with the Iranians, with all of them, the leaders, Ahmadinejad, Raisi, the one who was here, all of them, Hashem Rafsanjani. I was saying, you people, the Iranians now, why don't you recognize Israel? They said Israel does not belong here. It is not, it is a transplant in the Middle East. I said, no. Me, I know this part of the world from the Bible. You are all mentioned in the Bible. The Jews are mentioned. The Persians are mentioned. There's another group called Medians. The Philistines, Palestinians are mentioned. Goliath was a Palestinian. Why don't you? So I told them, you should accept Israel so that we implement the two-state solution. Then I go to Netanyahu, who is a good friend of mine. He has come here many times. We're in this house here with him and the president of Sudan. General Burhan. We were here. We had a meeting here. I said, why don't you recognize Palestine? Why? The two-state solution. Because of course, for them they say, initially the Palestinians, Arabs did not accept the two-state solution. It is true that in one of the conferences, Khartoum conference, the Arabs had said, no recognition, no what, that lie. But since that time, they have accepted. You Israel, why don't you implement this? They can't. You don't know why. They say, oh, this one. They say this, but you can see they are very reluctant to accept the two-state solution. Then our friend the Americans, the use of force in this area. In that statement, I gave the history of all these mistakes. When I went to Sudan, Khartoum, invited by Omar Bashir, that was the last time I was there. It was some years ago. We were in the big hall in Khartoum, where they have public meetings. And then I said, you people, what do you call identity in Arabic? They told me Hawiya, that is called Hawiya, identity. Then I said, what do you call interests? Then they said it is called Maslaha. So then I said, you people of Sudan, what politics are you following? Is it Hawiya or Maslaha? The whole laughed. They all laughed. Now, that was the big problem here. In the 1962 elections, the problem you have is that what you call history, I call current affairs. Because I was there. I don't know, God has really favored me. In the last 65 years, from 1960, I have been either watching or directly involved. By 1960, I was in, they were calling it Junior Secondary 2. That was the eighth year in the school system, and I was following everything. So in the elections of 1962, we had 3 political parties based on Hawiya, on identity, on sectarianism. You had the Democratic Party, DP, for the Catholics. You had the UPC for the Protestants and some Muslims. And then you had Kabaka Yeka for the Baganda Protestants, tribal and sectarian religion. That was the poison that almost destroyed Uganda. Because in the 1962 elections, no party could win majority. Because if you say religion, there's no religion here which will win a majority. If you say tribe, there's no tribe which will win a majority. So that's why, after they failed to get a majority, that's why Kabaka Yeka formed an alliance with UPC, which lasted only 2 years and collapsed. And then we went into war. 1966, 1971, 1972, 1979, 1981, wars. However, from 1965, the student movement saw through these mistakes. And we said, you people, follow the politics of maslaha, of emigaso kinakugasa. Temulowoleza onani atuyamba ki kyemba mutandikirako. Emigaso mutunule abantu kyebagasa, si oyani Katonda yamanya abantu embeera yaabwe. Golu Katonda oyagala kina embeera y'abantu ono gundi Katonda yabatonda. Who are you? I'm glad that Ugandans listened to our message. You know, Uganda had become a failed state. It had been undermined by the poison of the politics of identity. So therefore, I want to congratulate you Ugandans, because when we told you, please avoid sectarianism, reject sectarianism, love all Ugandans, irrespective of their differences. You listened. I want to thank you. That's why, ever since 1994, ever since 1989, when we expanded the NRC, when we started elections, the NRM is always winning. On the first round, we have never gone for the second round. Why? Because you all agreed that the message of unity was better than the other message of sectarianism. So when you see the suffering in the Middle East, you can see the consequences of that area is very rich, very rich. But you can see the politics disturb the whole area. So I want to congratulate you, Ugandans, for accepting our message of the students. Because when we started in 1965, rejecting sectarianism, they were laughing at us, the old politicians. They were saying, you young boys, you don't know reality. Reality is that blood is thicker than water, meaning that tribalism is more important than anything else. And I remember telling them that you people, me, I'm a cattle keeper. I produce milk, I produce beef, I produce bananas. Buli angulako musanyukira. Sisobola kugamba nti abanyankole bokka be bangulako. Abe Kampala bwe bagula amata gange baba banyambi. Bwe bagula amatooke baba banyambi. Bwe bagula ennyama baba banyambi. So I value Uganda. I value East Africa. I value Africa because they are the ones who support my prosperity. When you come to Equatorial and you find I have built a good house, it is not because of my tribe. It is because of Uganda, of East Africa, of Africa, because they are the ones who buy my milk, buy my beef, buy my bananas. So, dividing people is really short-sighted. It's even against your own interests. I want to discuss with the Western countries. If you are a smart person, especially if you are a smart businessman, why would you want to trade with a poor man? A poor man anakuyamba chi? Why don't you want people to have income, to have money, to have wealth in the whole world? Global affluence. Because if you get global affluence, they will buy more from you. Poor people, how much will they buy from you? So I would want to really to get time and discuss with all these people the issue of global affluence, which will benefit everybody. When China modernized, mumpada kazindaro, yamwe, you are the ones who gave me the kazindaro. Ne kanyanguye, kuwanga ifturu is about to come now. When China modernized, in 1986, I was trying to build a steel industry here. But I was told, I said, no, steel has no market in the world. And indeed, at that time, a ton of steel was $200. But when China started modernizing and building modern infrastructure using steel, price of steel went to $900. So the prosperity of China benefited me here. If the price of copper went up, the price of all those products.